Wow, what's up? Man, we back with another episode of Controversial Conversations Podcast, episode 9. You hear me? Man, you here with Los Angeles Street Vlogs, J Beast, Boot Boy, and JC. You hear me? Say, look, without any further ado, we're gonna jump straight into the first topic of discussion. And the first topic of discussion is work ethic. You hear me? Work ethic is the first topic of discussion. Uh, JB, talk to me. What you think work ethic is?
Hey, work ethic, bro. That's basically you going outside when you don't feel like it. You going to work when you don't feel like it, cause you got bills. Even if you ain't got bills, you just trying to save up money and get money. And you laid up, you tired. Work ethic is when you can still get up and go work you a 8 to 12 hour shift. So yeah, that's work ethic to me.
Okay, 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 boy. What you think? We'll come back. JC, what you think?
Um, Work ethic is not just consistency, but it's the quality of work you're doing. You know how they say sometimes you measure twice and cut once, or you do something right the first time so you don't have to do it again. I think it's the quality that you do your work in to where you do it the best you can every time you do work. And that's what I think
Okay,
it is.
that's what I think it is. Okay, Boot Boy, what you think?
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we hear you, we hear you.
All right, all right. Well, shit. I think ethic is the definition of the person. You know, your work ethic is really just like Jay Beast was saying, your grind, your hustle, doing things when you don't want to do it because it's in you, and not just doing it, but doing it right. Not just let me get it out of the way because I know it's like let me do it right the first time, so I ain't got to do it again. As what JC was saying, measure twice, cut once, same scenario, same yeah. But I think work ethic goes more than just work. I think it really just your personal thought process on what's important to you and what's not. Because certain shit you'll move despite if it's major. I mean, if it's a major situation, you'll move with urgency. But if it's minor to you, you're at your own pace. But if it's your work ethic, you just is who you. It'll be different when you display it. It's just naturally good qualities or bad qualities to me, and really that's my opinion on that.
Right. So I follow up with that, man. That's what I say. I say a good work ethic calls for how successful you are. I say a good work ethic stems from uh really childhood. You know what I'm saying? Because if whenever you taught responsibility and stuff of that nature from a young age, it kind of tends to wear on you, and you kind of tend to want to uphold that nature of responsibility. So I think work ethic is what JB said. Uh, it's kind of whenever you don't feel like it, when you don't want to, man, you still make the executive decision to get it done. That's like I think work ethic defines the man who has one job compared to the man who has five jobs. I think work ethic defines the guy who went platinum once compared to the guy that went platinum 50 times. I think work ethic is what defines the guy who got three blockbuster movies compared to the guy who got 25 blockbuster movies. It's all about your work ethic. I think that you can do good. You can do good in life, and yeah, you can do good in life, and go real far with a good work ethic. But I feel like whenever you don't have a work ethic, it kind of stun. Like you know how they say the old people say stun your growth. It kind of stun your successful growth, like how far you could have went, how successful you could have been. You know, so I just say that having a good work ethic, man, to take you forward, like it'll bring you to a place to where you never thought you can go. It'll help you accomplish milestones you never thought you can accomplish. So you know, anybody want to say something? Want to rebut that? Y'all good?
Do with everything you said.
Okay, okay. Well, stemming from work ethic, we're gonna move on. You remember the next topic would be how do you feel about self-employment versus working for an employer? JP, talk to me, man. What is kind of your lane? You hear?
Yeah, hey, I much rather, for me, self-employment. The only thing with working for somebody is you get the benefits. That's the only like main difference. But self-employment, you kind of work on your own schedule. You know, you got a whole lot more free time, and basically, even money-wise, you'll make the same amount of money as being employed, but you working maybe 75% of the hours. So yeah, like I said I'm all on board on self-employment, bro, just because you got so much freedom.
Okay, okay. How some?
You say what?
Y'all can hear me?
No, you kind of choppy, like it's like you
Hey, look, I'm gonna pass it on to you, boo boy. How you feel about that? And I'll be right back. So y'all go ahead with the conversation.
I mean, I feel when it comes to like that type of uh wait, what is the top what was the question you just asked? My bad. I thought
It's self-employment versus being employed.
my bad. When it comes to that, I really think it's the same shit. Cause once you pay taxes and say employers or employees or whatever, you really panning out to be the same shit. Cause even these big corporates, big major industries and corporations, they still gotta play the game for what it is, and they low key still middlemen. So I really think it just all falls back to society being a motherfucking what you call it, a corporation all over. Just the world being one big corporation. No matter how big it is or small it is, you still a middleman to somebody's game, you know? So I'll take I say it's the same shit, but I'll probably go with business like a public business and not my own, like employee and not employer, cause the benefits. You get more benefits that way. You gotta force the benefits the other way. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Okay, okay. Hey, let's remember to mute whenever we're not talking. JC, what you think about
Look at it a little different. I think you know, and it all depends on how big you is being self-employed. Do you have employees and all of that? Because if you're self-employed, it's more work and you working off the clock versus if you employed with somebody, you just showing up to the job, you're 9 to 5, you getting the benefits. I think it's less time, you know what I'm saying? But when you own the business, it's kind of like you cater to your customers. And then if you got workers as well, once they clock out, you still getting prepared for the next day and everything. But like I say, but if you self-employed to where you don't have employees and you can work on your own schedule or whatnot. So it all depends on like what you're doing. If you running a trucking industry versus like if you're doing stocks, I think stocks will probably be like a little easier to where you ain't gotta really manage too much time, versus owning like a store. Cause then once everybody else go home, you still running the numbers, scheduling everything for the next day. I think self-employment, you putting more on your plate. And you could, depending on how big you is, you could probably get a bigger piece of the pie, but it's taking more of your time, more of your free time.
Right. That's what I see. I see. I did both. You know what I mean? Actually, right now I do both at the same time. So it's like now I see this like back to JB's where he said when you work for an employer you get benefits and stuff. Whenever you self-employed, you gotta provide yourself with those benefits. So it's like being self-employed got a extremely higher overhead, but it's also possible higher income. It's a higher profit. Also, it's more reward. But working for an employer is kind of like man, it's simple. You just got to show up. You don't have like what JC was saying. You don't have to do a large portion of the behind the scenes the work. You don't have to worry about once the doors close and your shift is over. You don't have to worry about none of that. You just got to show up and do whatever job that you there to do. So but I will say this: self-employment, 100% have way more benefits. Like the benefits that you would get from an employer, that's cool. But self-employment, you get more leisure time. You get more, like JC said, you kind of set your own schedule. It's to your discretion when you want to show up and when you don't want to show up. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel on it. Anybody got something else they want to say?
What do you think about once you have employees? Like if you running a grocery store chain, you know what I'm saying, to where you can't really take off when you want to because you got other people depending on you.
Well,
And
nah, that's
even on the days, you still working on that business to, make sure it's successful.
hey, that's another thing I enjoy about. That's another thing that I enjoy about being self-employed is the how busy you can become. What you have to do is actually kind of refreshing. Yeah, it's actually kind of refreshing because it'll be days if you didn't have a job, what would you do? Sit around all day wishing you had a job, right? So once you get to the point to where you more busy than you expected to be, I call that success. You which it kind of that kind of go back to work ethic. If you think about it, that kind of go back to work ethic. It's like once you get to that point, what will you do? Will you maintain the pace that you need in order to be successful, or will you not reach your potential? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think that goes to complacency of your or your comfortability. Like if you able to, let's say, by yourself, no employees, and work from Monday to Thursday, and you bringing home 500,000. But then if you got 5 employees, but you working 7 days out the week, but you bringing home 2 million. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on your uh your comfortability. Some people will be okay with just making the 500,000. You know what I'm saying?
So let's
And the
ask
less
that person is okay with being complacent.
Mic
But say
check.
it again. I couldn't really hear you.
I said if a person okay with being complacent, and you could possibly make 10 million, but you choose to make just a million. Is that being successful, or is that a person kind of growing in their future of what it could have been?
I
And we
don't look at it
creatures
as
of
building your future because a million still is success. You know what I'm saying? That's
So
why I
it's
said the
kind of
500 versus the 2 million. Like, more money you make, yeah, that's more successful. But if you making a million, you still successful. So if you still successful, but you got less of a headache, you know what I'm saying? So I could see a person choosing, because you know what they say when they like a person that's making more money than you don't know what they going through. They probably not as happy as you. You know what I'm saying?
what y'all think?
Yeah, I think it depends on the person. Some people just don't have. Some people just don't have a dream. You know, some people is cool with just working a regular job forever. You know, just working minimum wage or like just enough to get by. Some people is alright with that. You know, not everybody. Not everybody dream about driving a Lamborghini. Uh, you know, I'm not one of them people. You know, I'm a dreamer type of dude. Yeah, I want the
That's what
Lambo
I
too.
was saying. That's what I was
You're
saying.
gonna
I'm gonna
you're
move it
gonna
up.
you're gonna use the way you can get the Lamborghini, but you don't want a Bugatti. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the success and the glamour, but you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to have to. You don't want the 100 million. You're good with 10 million.
but it still tie into LA point because successful from a small point to a major point, or from smaller success to major success. Your work ethic still gonna determine on how big you want to challenge these responsibilities, how far you want to take this. Like you said, JC, less headaches, fewer little money. From 1 mil to 10 mil. I take that 1 mil, less headaches. But it's like you really affecting the potential in the company just because you're not willing to expand from your own lane. But it's like
Right, right.
this shit
That's
keep
what I
on.
see.
Huh?
No. I was just gonna say, like, I ain't gonna lie. I get the point of the less headache, but I take that headache for. Well, I don't know. I guess it'll go back to what y'all say. It's up to the person. But me personally, man, I'm on 259,111 billion. Real talk. I want
But
every
that's your
last
work
dollar that you
ethic.
got on the
Your
planet.
work ethic
Yeah.
that won't take because you're not gonna stop till you get there. In your eyes, you like nigga. This is when it's all no headache to me. This is when this is small, yeah, because I'm making 200 or something, bill, whatever number you say. Get that shirt. Go, your work ethic
Yeah,
going
make
carry
sure
you
make
on.
sure to mute. Make sure to mute if you're not talking. You sound a little choppy.
Your work ethic gonna tell you when to stop, when it's enough, when you're done. You can bust your ass for 50 years straight and relax for the next 50. Your work ethic that you provided for those 50 years put you in a position to where you can rest for that. So even if it's self-employed or employed, employed, man, it's all the same thing to me because even if you go self-employed, you're really just trying to be the man that you working for in some aspect. Even if you got one or two employees and that's the first that you chose to make it grow, you still that man you was working for, just in your own way, your own nature. You became the boss.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I guess that's the way I look at it. Uh, man, I ain't gonna lie, dog. Like if I start building something, right, especially like at a self-employed level, if I start building something, I can't, I won't be able to stop until I see it grow to its fullest potential. It's like if you start a business and you choose to, I don't want to say the word deprive because, like I said, this really a subject. This subjective. It's up to the person how they feel. You hear me? But if you choose to stop the growth at a certain point, that's completely understandable. That's what you seen for that business. You hear me? But if you choose to continue to grow it the way like I would, I'm gonna try to grow it to a place to where is is tenfold. You hear me? This is bigger than anybody ever could have thought that it would have been. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm like I said, like y'all said, I think it's subjective. It's really up to the person how they feel about it. Same way with work ethic. You know what I'm saying? I done worked in a bunch of warehouse positions back in the day to what people was like, certain people wouldn't try that hard. Then you had that 2 or 3 people, some on the same shift, some on different shifts. You hear me? That just come in that bitch and they try to like Superman work. You know, like, hey, I'm gonna set new limits for you guys type work. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my take on that. Y'all wanna say something else? Y'all wanna, push forward?
We go
If you
to the
want to
next.
end this
We can
conversation with
double back.
what y'all want to do?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, if
yeah,
you
yeah.
got
What's
something to say, we can move forward. I mean, we could just mark this down as one of those double backs if we really want to get into depth on it.
Uh,
Cause I like it.
I
I'll talk about it some more.
all right, for sure. Well, we'll double back another night. You hear me? Man, the next topic, man, and this came to me. This came to me quick. Country life versus city life. Man, I think we all done down there lived in the country and the city on here by us being from Louisiana. So, man, JB, talk to me. What you think?
Uh, man, I don't like complete country, like where you 100 miles away from civilization. I'm on the outskirts of the city type of person. Like I like to be close enough to get all the amenities, but not so far I can't get to nothing. Like that's how I feel about it. Like I don't really want to wake up with roosters and cows mooing in the background. They they ain't my type of country. But like I said, like 20-30 minute drive to the city, that's the type of lifestyle I much prefer. But like in the city itself, I can't deal with traffic. Like I got like a major problem with traffic. Like I can't stand sitting in traffic. So that's why I couldn't like live inside like a major city just cuz I hate traffic. Like as much as I love Houston, I hate the traffic in Houston. Same with Dallas, but I don't like Dallas at all. But they traffic is terrible also. Uh, yeah, a lot of the major cities just got traffic problems, and that's what I just don't want to deal with. So yeah, hey, that's my statement on that. I'd rather be close enough for the amenities, but not too far away.
Right. All right, JC, what you think?
think is I think both of them got their share of headaches, and both of them got their share of pleasure. With but I look at the city more as a mental workout. To where you gotta, like JB said, in the traffic, and in some places like New York where people take the subways and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you walking everywhere versus the country where it's more labor intensive. Especially like if you're living on a farm or something, you got to get up the crack of dawn. You got to make sure you got all your ducks in a row, and you got to prepare for like the wintertime and everything. So I think it's more labor intensive, and I think the city life would be more mental intensive. That's my thoughts on it.
Boo boy, what you think?
I don't know. I'm kind of drawn in between the two, honestly. Cause I love the country life. I love being isolated from society and they bullshit. But I also like being able to go walk 5 minutes up the street and be able to do something without having to, do the most to do something. So I'm kind of drawn between the two. I guess on this topic right here, I kind of agree with JB. I mean, I wouldn't be like 20, 30 minutes. I'd probably be like 10, 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think, yeah. Because that country life different, man. You can grow your own. You can slaughter your own. You can just live your own way of life with not so much judgment. In the city, everybody want to report you just because you might want to, do you, and it's like, damn. Or the building you live in come with these rules, so you can't have pets, or it's like you really putting limitations on your life in both situations. So I think the city life is better for like somebody that's trying to build like a career for themselves. Country life is just for people that wanna, just make their little money and then enjoy their days living out how they want them, isolated from the reality of what's going on and keeping up with the Jones, you know. But that's my thoughts on that.
Nah, for sure though. It seems like all yeah, boy. I think you kind of feel more like me than at least, but man, once this money made in the ranch somewhere out of Wisconsin or something, I love Louisiana country for sure. So where I'm from, I'm gonna move on. You know, elsewhere. I'm from the that
You can't
so
understand.
you can hear me now? I sound better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. See, I say I'm from Louisiana, so I don't feel like the story gotta end there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna push on and I'm gonna get some a nice big ass ranch out in Wisconsin, Montana, Dakota, or some shit. And I'm gonna lay back, you know? Yeah. Y'all got anything else y'all want to say about this? I mean, the city cool though. Hey man, I love the city. Man, it's like you walk outside and you literally got access to everything you can think of. There's nothing you would think of. Like if you want water, they got water. If you want a fire land thing, they got land. Whatever you want to do and however you want to do it, man, there's access to it. If you want to be up in the sky, 80 stories high, it ain't hard to find a building to be up in the sky, 80 story high. You hear me? If you want to go rent you a boat and ride on the ocean, you can go rent you a boat and ride on the ocean. You know what I'm saying? You can do this stuff anywhere, but that's kind of one of the reasons I love LA because it just got a touch of everything. You can even go to Catalina on an island. You hear me? Now I'm just saying where I'm from, we got like Pecan Island and all that, but I'm talking about a real island. You can go lay back, you take a ferry over there. Like, man, listen, I want to go see about that. That's the type of stuff I want to experience in life. So that's why I love the city. That's one of the real chose to come to the city. But I mean, after I got that bag, how I want that bag, man, I definitely be laid back in the mountains in Montana. Y'all got anything else?
What's the smallest acreage you want your land to be like? Or would you rather a skyscraper in a penthouse suite?
I've been looking at 80 acres already. But that's why I'm living in the city now, so I can have that skyscraper penthouse suite right now. Yeah, I can experience that now because in my older age, I'm gonna go lay back on a ranch with about 120 acres. I've been looking at 80 already. But yeah, I'm gonna go lay back with a bunch of acres where I can sit out on my porch. You know, I got my cows that I buy and flip them. You hear me? Because that's money. If you don't know, that's money. You did. And I can sit on my porch every morning, smoke me a big old baseball bat, and just enjoy the vibe. Yeah, that's how I see it. You know,
Uh, you want to be in the mix in the city type of deal, and once you get the bag, you want to move to like the country lifestyle more.
but I mean, all right. Let my dog J Beast tell you. He live in a more rural area, but it's a town like it's nice. But J Beast, what you do every day of your life? You get up and go to the city for to get that money, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, fun fact, my dog J Beast probably damn near at 1,000,000 miles driven. Real talk, man. Real talk, man. My dog really move around outside, and that's why I'm saying if you really want to get that money, like you really want to be a factor in earning, you gotta be in the city. The country cool. The country cool is just rural areas is more of a laid back cost of living. So it's not really a pay scale. But if you can live in a rural area and go get that money in the city where the pay scale is up there, you winning all day long. You'll never lose.
Yeah, I can confirm that because like that's why I made like the highest paying work I did was like in bigger cities like LA or New York. That's where they would pay us a whole lot of money to be up there.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Like the Boosie lifestyle where he on the outsides of Atlanta, but on a whole bunch of property, but close enough to where you can go to the city and get that bag.
Yeah, I think that's what Jay Beast was saying. Like he want to be in an area like that, where it's not too far, but it's far enough to where I ain't buy the bag, but it's close enough to where I can run there real quick.
Yeah, I
In the
agree.
car.
So nobody still never said which life. Y'all just explain the benefits
I
and
mean, I love both farms. I love both farms. I ain't picking and choosing.
What kind of align with JB? Like I would like it to where not necessarily the country where you far away, kind of like where I'm at now in Karen Crow, where I'm close enough to where I can go to Walmart. It's right up the street, you know.
Right. Okay, cool. So we're gonna move on, dog. Man, it's a big topic in America right now, dog, especially in the inner city. In the inner city, this is a real big topic. Leasing offices is raising rent. Man, J Beats, what you think about that?
Oh, say it again for me.
The leasing offices, they raising the rent. The landlords, the homeowners, they raising rent.
Thing it depends on the location. They might not have a choice. So what a lot of people don't realize is them leasing offices and apartment complexes, even rental houses, they still have to pay property taxes, and property taxes goes up like just about every year. So they got a certain threshold on their profit to be able to cover whatever expenses. But if property taxes and they have, property insurance, they have, and insurance been going up like a lot. I know mine went up a whole lot of money. If all that stuff goes up, they don't really have a choice. They they just have to do it. Depending on how well they plan out their situation, they could probably hold the rates for a year or two, but eventually they have to go up on it, or they'll start losing money and just go out of business. So I mean, even though it sucks for everybody because average people they not it's not like your income just is magically going up, but it kind of just puts people in a bad problem, like a bad space, like the tenants, the people who's actually like renting the units. If their income didn't go up, now it's like they gotta lower their quality of living just to keep the lights on and just to like keep a roof over their head. Uh, it's just the system, the government that we in. That's just how it's set up to, you know, and there's nothing we could really do about it. It'll never change because that's kind of part of inflation. Like inflation is just, how back in the '60s it used to be whatever 25 cents for what a gallon of gas, and now it's whatever $3 or $4. It's the same thing. Like just how the average home price might be like $300,000-400,000 across the country. Like 10 years from now, it's probably gonna be 600,000-700,000 to buy a house. So, so yeah, hey, that's my take. They don't really have a choice.
Right. Hey, that's a take straight from the mind of the businessman. You hear me, JC? What you think?
I was trying to say the same thing, especially with the inflation. You know, it's kind of like what you want the property people to do. Like if they losing money, uh, and it goes left, the tenants would have to they would lose their place too. Versus, you know what I'm saying? One person losing something. Like if you got a unit with 100 people and the rent raised, maybe 20 of them won't be able to pay it. You know what I'm saying? But you can fill those 20 doors back up with somebody that can pay it. Versus if the people keep it the same way that own the property, if they lose the whole thing, then the whole 100 tenants will lose where they living at as well. So it's kind of like Jay Beast was saying, they really ain't got a choice if they want to keep the land.
Right. Boot boy, what you thinking?
See, because like Son said, it really boils down to how the system set up though. Motherfuckers just gotta do what they gotta do to get by and keep all things cool on their end so they can make a profit. So they gotta push the middleman. They gotta tax us more. That's just what it is. If you want to live certain lifestyles, you just gotta pay to live, man. That's the reality of it. And as messed up as it is, that's just what we gotta do. There's no way to beat it. What you gonna do? Live in a tent? Like that ain't cool for nothing or nobody. Like that ain't helping nothing. That ain't fixing nothing. Like so, when it come to that particular thing right there, it's like, brother, either you accept the conditions you in, or you pay that piper to be that man you trying to become. And that's my opinion on that.
Hey, me personally, I blame us. I blame us, the people. Because if we got money and invested it more often, we could control the market. If we got money and we put it towards a purpose more often, we could control the market. We rather be consumers rather than providers. You hear me? That's the way the people see this shit. They rather somebody else manufacture and provide and put it on the market rather than them actually investing their money. If everybody who got a little money, instead of splurging, they invested it back into society, we could control the cost of society because we would be the people that's running society. Okay, what the government raised the prices, right? If we all working together and we distributing this shit, we'll have a say in the price. If we stood together as a nation for real, you hear me? If we stood together as a nation for real, we could control what the government do, the things how it move and how they conduct themselves. But because we so broken as a nation, we care about things like gender, nationalities, race, all this shit. That's the reason why we'll never get strong as a nation that stick together. That's why our main argument is always, oh, people come over here and they able to build up so quick. That's because they come over here and stick together as a nation of one. It don't matter where they from, as long as they all going to work together. They ain't gonna hate on each other. They not gonna. They rather be the provider to society rather than the consumer. Out here in LA, the Mexicans come here. Instead of them buying, if you walk out on the street, all the street vendors is Mexican. But that's why we be strong as a nation. And we all stick together. But because we don't do that, then that's why. Because we act like we stupid. We don't look ourselves. So they doing the same. Who was mentally out. We don't need no guardian. We all grown. We know what they need. Provide in your life. You hear me? Come on. the extreme, but that's my take though. What y'all think? Everybody got anything else on that?
Copy.
I say anybody else got anything else?
I mean, I agree with you at the end of the day when you say you blame the people. The people can have a lot more control in what's going on, but a lot of people is considered solid partners in a lot of these major corporate street business and industry, whatever the hell you want to call them, corporations, whatever the hell. But yeah, a lot of these people are solid partners, so they don't really have too much to say about it because it's hurting they way of living, trying to stick with us. So a lot of people won't get with it because they'll lose their position in life for a while before it's gonna get worse before it get greater. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't willing to bite that bullet. There's a lot of people with millions and millions of dollars that can provide build apartment complexes and house for free for a couple of years just off of the type of money they're making. But you don't see those type of things. Because when you try to do that type of stuff, they find some type of way to play with your money. Now you can't enjoy your lifestyle because you want to bring everybody up with you. Man, the system is rigged against us in every aspect. It don't matter how much you want to kumbaya, my lord. We gonna never kumbaya because so many people got so much to lose in their own way, and they ain't gonna never see the bigger picture.
So
So
you mean
yeah,
to
I do.
tell
I'm
me?
with you.
No, 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 no. My bad, y'all can hear me? Okay. So you mean to tell me if 10 people came together, picture 10 men, each of them worth 20 mil. They come together, they build a small community of 40 houses, a duplex, like a subdivision. They build a store within the subdivision. They build a gas station within the subdivision. They build everything they need. A laundromat, car wash, grocery store, a gym, everything that they need, they build it all. So they can't control that area. They couldn't control the market in that area. You don't think so?
So, and to
How
your
about
point too,
the government having to say so?
with the
Listen
stock,
though,
with the stock
listen.
stuff, fella.
Go ahead. You can.
Yeah, like how you were saying, if we would unify and come together, like if you look at the Jewish family, they teach their kids at like 14, 12, they'll take them to like a financial camp or whatever to learn how to make money work for you at an early age. And just like you said, if 10 people, not even rich people, if 10 members of your family and y'all put, let's say each of y'all put $10,000 into a stock, that'll be $100,000. You know what I'm saying? If it do blow up, that's enough money to where you can bring more people. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Leslie ended up putting $100,000 into, I want to say, Amazon, and then within 4 years, that 100,000 turned into 16 million. So if us, well, I'm saying for black folks, if us as black folks would learn the market and everything, because most black people feel like, oh, that's a scam and this is gambling with your money, but it's a certain thing you can do to where you can kind of guarantee that you will make something. They got something called the S&P 500, which is an index fund that distributes all your money between the 500 uh the Fortune 500 companies, all of the biggest companies that's in the country. So even if one of them doing bad, you still make a profit because you in each one of them. You know what I'm saying? So if we was all on the same page and understood all of that, especially at a young age, like you say, we'll be able to control the market. We'll be the market. If prices go up, we'll benefit from it. You know?
The point that I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make. As a people, if you can look at other people and be like, oh, they come over here and they get all the jobs, they do all these things. You gotta have the same work ethic. It goes back to that. You gotta care, you gotta want, you gotta have gumption, you gotta have logic. You gotta see the process that they using, and you gotta reverse engineer it to your standard. And then you use it. It ain't copying, it ain't cheating. Man, it's innovation, it's evolution. This is what a people supposed to do, but it seems like black people is stupid because they don't know how to evolve. You know what I mean?
It's like they you know, I got a cousin named Muhammad, and he kind of put it in perspective. He say maybe you're not the type of person that can go get the money. You know what I'm saying? But if you the person that can make a lot of money, you can distribute it between certain family members to where maybe you a mechanic, you know how to work on cars. Well, shoot, if I can get the finances, I'll get some cars for you to work on. You know what I'm saying? And we could build that model out to where it can become a business. You know? So sometimes the person that's getting the money, they look at it like, well, this my money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the poor mindset where it's not enough to go around. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's black folks' problem. Like, we're not willing to share what we got in fear of losing it or thinking that it won't be enough for everybody.
And that's to the point that I'm trying to make. And I'm not trying to put nobody down or speak negative on our people. It's just this is what we've showed each other. This is what we've showed each other over the years. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, but with that said, man, we can move forward. Moral compass versus no moral compass. JB, tell me where your moral compass at.
As in, give me an example.
Meaning, how far will you go? You know what I'm saying? Uh, like on a scale of crime, you can see someone stealing a candy bar. You cannot say nothing. But how far does it have to go till you gotta intervene because your moral compass won't allow you to just watch it happen?
Okay.
And do you feel like you need a moral compass, or do you think it's all bullshit?
It definitely depends on the situation. Like, yeah, it depends on the situation. How I would evaluate something. Like, if somebody's like in like extreme danger, uh, I say I might not intervene myself, but I would call for help. I'm not about to be Superman, but I'll get somebody on the phone and be like, hey, this person is in extreme danger. I'll do something like that. Um, and like I said, it depends on the situation. Like, say this example is a situation I was in. So there was a pew pew incident like at the apartment complex, like right next to mine. So it's just like a fence that separates us. And it was a whole lot of, a lot of objects flying around, a whole lot of noise, sounding almost like, a machine gun type of thing. Or, my fault. And this truck come driving through the fence, like boom, and into our complex. And I'm outside seeing all of this. Truck drive through the fence, boom, and they whatever go off. Nothing but the police show up. I had one neighbor who was like, "Yeah." Police was like, they asked like, "Did anybody see something?" My one neighbor was like, "Nah, I ain't see nothing." And they asked me, and I was like, "You know what? I sure did see something." I told them the color of the truck, the model, the year, everything. Cause I look at it like, man, I live over here. My kids play in this field. This dude just drove this truck through. I'm like, me and my kids be out here. Like say like a stray would have hit me or one of my kids. Like I feel like in that situation, I it ain't really my business, but it's my business whenever, I live here. So I look at it like, yeah, in that type of situation, hey man, get them people out of my
Let,
neighborhood.
let's say the roles was reversed though. It was you was by my house and it happened. That same incident happened at my house, but you was visiting. Would you tell them, or would you not say nothing?
Hey, I wouldn't
Oh
say nothing.
boy,
I ain't gonna lie though. No, I mean that's a good question. I would say I wouldn't because that's not I don't live there. I would leave it up to the person that lives there. Because at that point it don't affect my everyday life. That's like seeing any place on the news that you don't live at, but you might shop at the Walmart down the street type of thing. It's like, are you gonna report every crime you see? It don't affect your everyday life. So for me, I'm a go ahead and say something about something that affects where I live versus where somebody else lives. I'll leave that up to them to secure their own
right,
community.
right, right. So, all right, JBs, we're gonna come back to that question though for real. But Boo Boy, what you think?
I mean, it's kind of back and forth in my opinion, but I mean, I see some point. But either way it go from the scenario, I'm telling what it is. Somebody kids played up, man. It ain't about me, it's about them kids. But yeah, that's what I think on that.
All right, what about you, JC? What you think?
Kind of align with what Boot Boy was saying. We got to start looking at everybody like their family if we want to do better. You know what I'm saying? And so and I also agree with JB. It all depends on the situation as well. With the like if I'm in Memphis and I see them selling drugs, I'm not just finna go and tell. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'm endangering myself and everything. But if I'm in my own town in my subdivision and I see something like that going up the street, my kids play here. Other people kids play here. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think it all depends on your faith too, what your faith tells you. Because also my morals won't let me hurt somebody to benefit multiple people. You know what I'm saying? Like if any of y'all know something about the trolley problem, like if you on a train and the train is headed towards 5 people, they got their back turned, but if you switch a lever, it'll make the train go right, but that's headed to one person. Would you hit the lever to save them 5 people, but you actually killing one person, or would you
Hey,
would you
wow,
let the
no,
5 people?
watch the word.
Okay. But my morals won't let me hit the switch because I'll view it like I'm erasing one person to you know what I'm saying? Now some people might look at it like, no, you saving 5 people, but I'm like, if the train malfunction, that's not my fault. So if it do, you know what I'm saying, erase 5 people, is a hard decision for me to have that on my conscience to where I specifically made a decision to unalive one person to save 5 people. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's
Right,
when
right,
your
right,
your morals come into effect. What you willing to do?
right. So I'll agree with that, but I say this though. My moral compass is like this. If it's I'm from the streets, right? So if it's some street stuff, I can look away long as they dealing with that. But if it's some street stuff going on and kids involved or anything of that nature, I have to step in. I feel like as if I don't, what type of man am I? I feel like if a woman is in need, a kid is in need, and a man is on scene and he don't intervene, what type of man are you? That wasn't the type of men that we was meant to be. That's not the traditional style of man. So I feel like, all right, if we in the streets and we all slimy and that's what we doing, then I can look away because I'm doing it too. But I mean, we don't play with older people, women, children, none of that. All is a limit in this. So that's kind of how my moral compass built to where I would do some things I probably shouldn't do, but I probably would I do some things I shouldn't do by people that I don't know 100%. I feel like somebody got to step in. It don't matter who you is or what you doing there, why you there. If you see a child, a woman, or an elderly in distress, you post to step in and help if you are a man. That's how I was raised. That's how I was raised. If you see any one of those people in distress, you are and you have a responsibility, you hear me, to step in and 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 help these people. A man, if you are a man, a child, a woman, or elderly, you always supposed to help them. Another man, I mean, at that point it's subjective. Because you a grown ass man. If you can't defend yourself and take care of yourself, you know what is you doing. But now if it's 4 people against the one man, there's no question I help the man. Like, come on, dog, what y'all doing? You know, if you're gonna do that, do it fast. You hear me? So that's how I feel. I feel like if you believe in something, if you have any type of beliefs, you must have a moral compass. Because then at that point, it's like, what is you doing? If you cool with anything, you ain't standing for nothing. And I feel like if you don't have a moral compass, it's just kind of it's really. I just don't feel like that's a good look. But once you start involving other people with you not having a moral compass, so you taking it further, you know what I'm saying? It should go, and you playing with children, women, or elderly. Then I feel like that's where it's room for a man to step in and say, "Hey, look, enough is enough. Yeah, enough is enough." You know, it's sacrifices. Sacrifices is everything. It don't matter. God gave you the being able-bodied and a sound mind to know the difference, and you need to help this person and turn your back. If you turn your back, how could you ever say you a man again? How could you ever say that you a man again? I don't get it. Yeah, I don't see that. So you know what y'all think something of that?
Think about they got a bunch of people that play on that type of emotion too. So you'll see a woman in distress on the side of the road. You call yourself trying to be a good man, help them out, and as soon as you get on scene, a bunch of other people come out the bushes with sticks, and now they taking your car and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
But I
So
mean,
you
that's
got
where
to be.
you have discernment. That's where you, as a man, you got discernment. You peep the scene. You
Well,
see
that's what I
what's
was
going
going to say.
on.
That's what I was going to say. So it all depends on the situation too, because you could be doing something good and it don't necessarily mean something good karma gonna come back to you. Like if you see a wreck and it's a child in the car, you help them get out, the car blow up, but you lose an arm. Yeah, you save somebody. So will you be bitter for the rest of your life that you done that? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, look, see, that's what a moral compass actually, the meaning of a moral compass actually comes. Your morals, the things that you do involving your morals and your values, your standards of how you uphold your life, you doing it with no expectations of nothing in return. That's what make you a good person. If you feel like, look, I see this happening, let me stop it because I'm gonna get some good karma. You just as much as a scumbag as the nigga that'll keep going when he see it happen. You feel me? Anything else, though? Anything else?
I feel
I
that.
mean, I think your moral compass really stems from your belief system. At the end of the day, whatever spiritual aspect of the game you walk with and believe in, gonna really determine how you really act in certain situations, what's important to you and what's not. So yeah, your moral compass. That's my opinion on that. I feel a moral compass everybody have, but is it does it matter to some people? No. Most people move through life off of their moral compass, though, if they know it or not know it. Every decision you make comes from your moral compass, your understanding of right and wrong, left and right, up and down, back and forward. Like it's just how the game go. You're gonna make a decision in a situation. It's gonna come from good or bad, from beneficial or not beneficial, for genuine or I'm trying to get over you, like snake game. Like it's just your moral compass, who you is as a person, what's important to you, who you look up to for your spiritual source to say that's okay. This is who you can be, and then you can.
So
But
my bad.
yeah,
Go ahead. Son.
nah. I was really about to wrap it up. That's really what it was. I was saying that.
Okay. Hey, so we gonna use that right to move into our next topic. Should life be
Put an
played?
emphasis on that topic. I had something else to say.
Yeah, bet. Should life be manipulated or played fair? JB's, what you think?
Manipulated for sure. Hey, I guess that's a little moral thing, but I mean, if you want to succeed, it's not really a lot of avenues where you can just go and play fair and be successful. I mean, just the way life is set up, a lot of people got to do whatever they got to do to put themselves in, position to take advantage of things. Like, so that might mean, some type of manipulation. If you gotta, I ain't saying you gotta just completely ruin somebody else's plans or something, but I'm just saying, like, I guess maybe in a way a form of manipulation might be, just you having better skills than another person who's going for the same position as you, and you pitching, to the boss or whatever, hey, I know you looking at hiring this person, but my experience is higher than theirs. I would do a much better job. I feel like just for you to advance, occasionally you gonna have a point where you might have to do something like that. So hey, I'm on the side of manipulation because I feel like sometimes I s- I say in some examples, like with my business, I would say like I sometimes I would just lie to a company to get a job, even though I might not know how to do something. I just lie to them and tell them, hey, I've been doing this. And whenever I actually get to wherever I need to get, I'll learn it. I never been in a situation where I haven't been able to do something I said I could do. But that, that's what I'm saying. That's part of manipulation. Sometimes you just gotta lie about something to get yourself in a position to be able to, capitalize and benefit you. It comes with now I got the experience of something like the real experience of something. If I would have never lied and said I had the experience, I would have never got to this point. So yeah, hey, I'm on the side of manipulation.
Okay, but it's a limitation.
You cut out.
Okay, so Blue Ball, what you saying? JB's it sound like you manipulation. Y'all can hear me?
Man,
Y'all can hear me?
you're a little staticky
You can
over
hear
there.
me? You can hear me now? I'm better.
You're sounding
Oh,
robotic.
but I mean, I guess he was about to ask me next anyway. What was my point on it? I say shit. First off, JB's your more accomplished. Fucked up, player. Oh my bad. It's messed up, player. 'Cause, hey man, you kind of you one of the one. But my take on it is if the game was played fair, the society would thrive a whole lot better. But so much greed and envy force us to play the manipulation game. I would prefer, I would prefer personally the fair game. Give a man what he's worth on all sides of the table. But I'm gonna have to side with you on this one, JB. You gotta play the manipulation game though these days to get where you're going. It's either eat or be eaten. We all see it. Most people be training the next person in position to take their job someday, if they want to admit it or not. No matter what it is, from sports to podcasting to, there's always somebody training somebody to be better than them in whatever it is. Eventually, if the person want to admit to it or not. But manipulation, you definitely have to thrive in this society. So yeah, that's my point on that.
I bet. JC, what you think? I sound better?
You sound
You're a little
better.
bit more clear.
JC, what you saying?
I think I side with JB, like he was saying, because we taking the point to where if life was fair, you would want to play it fair, whatever, but life not fair, and it's a bunch of hidden hands that's trying to control your trajectory, and I think is you manipulate it to a point to where it could benefit you, but not to the point to where you can ruin somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's a like JB was saying, a job, and it's a you versus somebody else, then yeah, you do whatever you can do to get that job. But to go out your way to make lies about somebody, like I think that's too far. But if you can build yourself up and be like, hey, you might have been doing something for a year, but you say I've been doing it for 5 years, just to beef your own experiences up to where you can get it. I think that's the best way. Try to be fair, you know what I'm saying? But I do think you need to be able to manipulate life to where you can have the best outcome for yourself.
Nah, for sure. That's what I think. I think life should be manipulated. You hear me? But when I started saying like, boom, I didn't know how to cut. I was just doing about trying to
Your
know what
audio
it is.
chopping.
Yeah, I say, make sure I'm muted. I say, I was taking cosmetology, and people ask me like to cut their hair. People, you hear me? Yeah, they muted. People ask me to cut their hair. I tell them, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, boy, I'm cool with this. Whole time I really ain't know, but when I would do it nice. So I feel like that type of manipulation cool. But I mean, like, if I sound better, I'm still sounding bad.
Nah, you clear. Now you clear. This.
Yeah. So I mean, like, So I tell them, yeah, I know how to cut hair, I cut their hair. So I mean, that type of manipulation, cool. But I'm saying, like, if it's like you lying about like something that's going make somebody lose money, hurt them physically, harm them in any way, or take away from them, nah, you're doing too much. At that point, the moral compass come back and plead. You know what I mean? So you gotta care about something. You can't just be feeling like you could be running around here doing anything and manipulating people at all costs. Now, soft manipulation, like I'm saying, like getting the advantage on you getting the job over somebody else. I mean, at that point, it mattered to you just as much as it mattered to them. They should have put a little more sauce on it. But if you at work manipulating the boss into feeling like you doing somebody else's work and you get promoted over the person that's actually putting in the work, now that's where you crossing the line. You see the difference in that? Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's where you crossing the line. If y'all both going at it at the start, it's not for neither one of y'all yet. If you talk yourself up better, that soft manipulation is not bad. If you don't do the job, you'll get fired. Somebody else will come replace you. But if y'all already working together and you go against the man in order to you snake him in order to get the job or get a better position at the job over something that he actually did, that's where it become a problem. You know, what y'all think?
I feel no manipulation is good. At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, it's fair to you, but it's fair to no man to be manipulated out of a way to provide for his family. Just because you sauced it up a little better, that don't make you no more qualified than him. He just taking a shot too. You know, honestly, I feel like the game shouldn't be based off of greed because a lot of this money really should be broken down more fairly to the people that work for it, not just
All
10,
right, look,
20.
based on what you're saying, let me ask you this. Mute up for me real quick, because that's how my audio be messing up. Let me ask you this. So you saying that all right, you saying that it shouldn't be like all the money in the world should be passed around. No one should be able to pass a certain amount of money. Everybody should have a cap at how much money they can have in order for everybody to have the money. So you don't think that? So you think that a person that like Jeff Bezos and one of them dudes who got like all the money, Elon Musk with the $1 trillion, you think he should have to pass out? He should only be able to keep like 100 million and have to pass all the rest of it out to people.
I feel he should give more people their equal cut. Elon Musk ain't Elon Musk by himself. At the end of the day, he's paying the team and he's probably paying them well. But he also probably underpaying them also because the reap of the benefits gonna be off for him. He gonna probably take the majority of the loss, sure enough. But if he hit, say he do something and and they do 3 times the numbers they calculated, he not gonna pay everybody 3 times the amount they truly worth. He gonna give certain people maybe a little boost in, but he not gonna give every man that worked in that and made that project, whatever that project was, an equal cut for their work, they worth. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, every man, no matter if you just printing papers and bringing them to me, if that's your job and it's important to what we do, you should get paid an equal fair. Because without that blueprint, I might not be able to get this through. Everybody is worth something, but so many people is underpaid just because of the minor details of the aspect. Not understanding these minor details is what makes the bigger parts of this machine move. Without those little people that come in every day and be in misery doing these little petty jobs, these little, you know what I'm saying? Like that right there ain't that the people is worth more than that. You worth more than $10 an hour, no matter what you're doing. You worth more than $20 an hour, no matter what you're doing. These people making millions, trillions. Man, you could get a meeting at work. People will say, hey, we just surpassed a $1 million mark for this money. Woo, woo, woo. And them folks will give you a pizza party. I think one of y'all was talking about that in the chat the other day. But them folks will give you a pizza party. Man, how that's gonna feed my family? Y'all trying to feed me pepperoni pizza from Little Caesars or CC's Pizza. How that's gonna feed my family? How that's helping me when I was a gear in that machine that helped that machine make that $1 million this month? Where's my fair cut? That's my take on that. Like, as far as the angle I'm coming with.
And that right there boils down to the system that we in. How the capitalistic system works. You know, they could make it to where it's a maximum wage. Well, most people like is a salary cap on how much you can make, and I don't think that would stop innovation. You know, Elon Musk would still be Elon Musk without the trillion. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, personally, I feel like every man go earn, he should be able to keep. But Jay, tell me what you think about
You
that.
chopping.
Make sure y'all mute y'all mic. JB's, look at that.
Yeah, hey, come back to me.
I bet. Hey, bet. Well, look, man, we gonna move on real. Hey, look, well, let's get a little more personal. What is the difference between?
Choppy, I can't hear you.
What is the difference between? Make sure y'all mic muted. You know? What is the difference between a father and a daddy? What is the difference between a father and a daddy? Boo boy.
Man, I would say they kind of one and the same, but not the same. Because a child don't know what a father is until a child is old enough to understand what a father is. That child gonna consider whoever is daddy to that child daddy. Meanwhile, in hindsight, that daddy is really a father. Because if you raise somebody's child that's not your child, but as it was your child, you not really the child's daddy. You the child's father figure in their life. They gonna call you daddy because you played daddy role. But yeah, you are the father figure in that child life in that particular situation. Just like every man. That's why the little phony holidays they send is called Mother's Day and Father's Day. It's not called Mama's Day and Daddy's Day because that's not really what it is. A daddy is just a sperm donor. He was just the one that did what he did, and then it happened how it happened. A father is somebody that try to put structure and responsibility and accountability into that child. Make that child take the world on how that child can face the world and not just blind. That's a father. You can have a father figure that ain't even your daddy. It could be your uncle, but he treated you just like your daddy would have treated you. That's a father to you first. Don't despite the how y'all related, despite the bloodline connection, if he gave you the characteristics and the understanding to survive in society right now as an adult, and you learned that from him honestly or being around him, then that's your father figure or somewhat a father figure in your life. And that's just my take on that.
Okay. Uh, JC, what you think?
I kind of side with what Boot Boy said. You know, I think it's supposed to be one and the same. Like your daddy is supposed to be your father, but if uh if somebody is your stepfather, you know they playing that fatherly role. They not necessarily your daddy because you didn't come from them. So I'm thinking like you come from your daddy, but your daddy still is your father if he stay in your life. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of side with what Boot Boy said.
Hey, Lee, talk to me. I'll talk back.
So you got to add to your herd man. He ain't hear you.
But nah, though, I think when it all pan out, though, that's the reality of it. If you really break it down to the technicalities, it's like you supposed to be a daddy. You be a daddy first, and then you mature into a father. But if you play that substitute role into someone's life, mother or father, then you still is the example of what it is and how that child learn. So you got the role. It's just you really more of the mother or the father aspect of the child life than the daddy, because the daddy matured into a father.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. Because I was kind of looking at it like the daddy is like the fun person, the father is most stern. But like you say, it's supposed to be one and the same. Like the same man that's your daddy is supposed to be your father. But if you do have a stepfather, they playing that fatherly role. They can't necessarily be the daddy unless unless you raising them from a baby. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean,
yeah, I kind of feel
it's
like how
really
you
come from
feel.
that. It really come from that child perspective on the daddy determination. Cause that child could grow up and say, "Hey, yeah, that was my father figure, or that's my father," but never called that person daddy. Or that
Right.
child can also know that's daddy from a certain age, 8, 9, 10, knowing he he have a biological daddy, know him by name and face, but understand
Mm-hmm.
who is the daddy in his life right now, and consider that man daddy.
Let me ask you this: if you the person that's taking that stepfatherly role, like let's say the child is 1 month old, and you raise them from that age, but they never call you daddy, they always call you Mister So and So. Like, would you take a slight to that, or would you understand?
Personally, it comes from how the daddy operating in the situation. Because if that dad is being the father, I don't have to take that place. Then that child don't never have to call me daddy or father or anything. I'm Mister
Mm-hmm.
to the inner time in my eyes. But if I'm actually raising you like my child, out because this is coming from experience, JC. My oldest son is 1. I got with his mama when he was 1. He's going on 12 now. So this is like own personal experience. I didn't force that child to call me daddy, but when he chose to call me daddy, that mister or whatever I allowed you to call me before, that goes out the window now. Because
Mm-hmm.
now you've accepted me for my role and now I've accepted you for yours. So you can't walk around calling me Mr. This today and daddy tomorrow. No, I'm daddy now. You done lost that privilege,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. But yeah, that let you back.
Hey, this kind
LA,
of bring a
go ahead.
well, this kind of bring a topic that I seen where this was a stepfather, right? He raised the daughter. The actual father wasn't in the daughter life, so he kind of took care of every aspect, bought her first car, sent her to college, and on her wedding day, she wanted her actual biological father to walk her down the aisle instead of the person that raised her. And he put up the money for the wedding and everything. So he decided to take the money and everything back. And he was like, since you want your father to walk you down the aisle, let him pay for all the stuff. Like, would you agree with that, or
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
I agree and I don't agree because I mean, at the end of the day, you did that for her and her way, not for your own personal feelings. But I do understand being a father, putting this. all into a child, providing for that child from needs to wants, sports and all. And for you
Hmm.
to choose somebody that chose to do you like that most of your life over me is that's very hurtful.
Right, right.
Just you know what I'm saying? Like and everybody can't carry their hurt the same. Me personally, I would have been hurt, but I wouldn't have took it as in like you owe me this. Because at the end of the day, that's still your biological, and if that's what you see it to be, then baby, I'm only here to make it happen.
Hmm. Hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. That's just me. I feel like it's not important for the person at that day to get they to be they, for their feelings to be catered to. It's more so the person you're doing it for. It could be your mama, and you ain't talked to your mom in 40 years. But if that's the mom, if that's the person because that's a memory you want to have at the end of your
Hmm.
days in your life, not mine. But yeah, that's my take on that.
Lovely still here. Yeah.
You
Yeah, I'm
kind
right
of
here.
put you in and out.
I'm right here. I mean, like, I hear him. Um, as a woman, that's an absolute hell no for me. I would not have been the mother of that child who, you know what I mean? Like, I hear all that and all of that sounds good, but when it's a lot that goes into raising a child, and just like the first guy said, you know what I mean? It's you have people who are dads, and then you have fathers, and you have people who step up to be a father. You know what I mean? And that requires finances. That requires, you know what I mean, emotions. And one of the most important things that people forget about is that requires time. That time could have been spent with the family who was going to appreciate that man, and you know what I mean, and take the thing and not take him for granted. You know what I mean? Because that's essentially what I remember reading that story, and I was angered by that. You know what I mean? That's wrong. You don't do people like that. If her father, or if the person who had her, because the person who she wanted to walk down her aisle was not her father. He was her dad. He was the person who had her. He was the male who had her. See, I think we kind of had this conversation a little bit the other night, but like in different terms though. I think of people who have children and don't raise them. I don't hold them in very much high esteem. I deduce them to basically nothing. They're trash to me. So I don't see them as people. People who have children and don't raise them, or have other people raise them and they walk away from them, they're not people to me. They are just, they are specimens. And I believe that they should, whatever happens to them is what happens to them. They get whatever they have coming to them, and that's how I feel about those types of beings. I don't have any respect for them. So
Right.
I don't, you know what I mean? I can't say that her fault, that, her having her father walking down the aisle was, her father didn't walk her down the aisle. The man who laid up with her mother and contributed to, he helped contribute to her being here on this earth, her sperm donor. That is what he was. He was just a male with a male part who was able to reproduce. That was it. So, you know what I mean? Her step, that was wrong for her. I feel like that was wrong. And no, it's not about him, it's about her day. But he spent enough time of his life worrying about her. He spent enough money of his resources and his finances thinking about that family for them to do him like that. I just think that, like, at some point in time, people have to learn to care about them. And yeah, he was well within his right. When women, a lot of times with black families, when it comes down to weddings and stuff like that, usually the wife and the husband, or the boyfriend and the girlfriend, come together and they pay for those things together. But traditionally, weddings are paid for by the woman's father, by the woman's family. That is traditional. So if that man did it traditionally and took his money and his resources and he paid for that girl's wedding and she stepped on him like that, that was wrong. He should have let them pay for it
Agree with that.
themselves if he was going to do that.
Mm,
Period.
nah, we never said it was right, love. What we were saying was, at the end of the day, that's just like if you're getting mad. Your moral compass make you seem, hey, that's not right to the person that raised me. That's your moral compass. Everybody moral compass don't operate the same. She wanted her daddy, not her father, to walk her down the aisle. So at the end of the day, it don't matter who walk her. The point is you're getting married, and you're right. Traditionally, when it came to being the white family usually did all the building when it came to the wedding, but you eliminate a lot of that control by nowadays how we do it, which would be considered traditionally now, is we pay it for it ourselves and we dictate more of our wedding. But I feel when it comes to that, he did what he felt was right, just like she did what she felt was right. He felt it was right to take his money out of the situation. So she felt it was right to accept dude, you know. I don't deem it's right. And I
He
don't deem
accepted
it's
him
right.
too.
Nobody walk out of no child life. Stepmother, stepfather, it's not that child's fault. That child is put in that position. That child got to endure that situation. That child only need guidance and understanding from somebody. Real grandmother, auntie, uncle, cousin, whoever raised you, that child needs that. So I don't do what I
Right,
didn't
right,
do what I did for the man. It was more so for that child, because that child was gonna grow up with no guidance.
right,
When
right,
I'm
right.
able to
Hey,
guide,
hey, we definitely gonna come back to this one night, dog. We gonna double back on this topic, but we gonna move on to the next topic. Man, it's crazy. Hey, make sure you mic muted. That's another reason my audience is up. Uh, Krishan Rock under fire allegedly put a hit on her baby daddy. Lovely, what you think about that?
Um, I'm from Baltimore. Actually, I actually know some of Krishan Rock sisters. Well, my ex does. My ex is cool with them. Um, I don't believe that. I know that they say that's true. Um, because there's some people who just be into a whole bunch of things, that be in a lot of stuff. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? She put a hit out on Ronnie Doe. I don't believe that. I believe it looks that way because of all the stuff that she get into, but they all get into a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Um, Honestly, that's definitely something that's spoken about more outside of the city than it is here. That's not here. That's not something that people even take a second thought to. You know what I mean? So I don't believe it.
Right, right,
You
right,
believe
right.
it?
Nah, hey, I really don't know. I'm about to ask JC based off of what you heard about it. What you think?
Really don't see her doing that. I think maybe I chalk it up to coincidence because all it would because if she did do it, it wouldn't make sense because all they would have to do is get Blueface to take a DNA test, and if it's not his child, you know what I'm saying. So her doing that wouldn't cover up nothing. You know what I'm saying. So, but it is weird that
Hey, I just want to state a fact. Blueface actually stated on a stream one night that his dad indeed did take a DNA test, and that's the reason Krishan Rock wasn't no longer seen around him because his dad took a DNA test and it turned out not to be his kid. But all
right.
right,
So
Boo Ball,
if they said if the whole thing is about her doing that to not because they were saying that he was taken to her to paternity court and I think the day before it happened they was on the phone together. Like I think it's odd that her family kind of going against her and kind of insinuating that she had something to do with it. But like I said, I don't think she did. Like it wouldn't make sense to me. And that's my thoughts on it.
Right. Boot boy, what you think about it?
I mean, I don't really know too much about that particular situation, but lining it up from her characteristics, her moral compass, she don't look like that type of person. I mean, she done got this and got that a few times. She real big about providing for her son, despite who the baby daddy is. It's like she don't give me that type of mentality at the end of the day, like she that type of individual. If she got something to do with it, that's questionable on who she was dealing with when she was dealing. But like as far as actually putting nah, I don't think she did that.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Only thing I can say, she got some questionable moments on the internet. Now, with the situation at hand, I don't know. Like you said, I don't really see it in her character because I seen her have a lot of scuffles. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I ain't never seen her grab. They say she did. Yeah, allegedly, there was times they say she did. But yeah, dog. I don't know. It's just a crazy story. For real. Anybody want to say anything else on that?
I think what really raised the suspicions too is she admitted that she finna leave the country. So there was like homicide investigators talking to people around her, and they I guess eventually gonna get to her. But I think she was going to scream, and her sister kind of let the cat out the bag, saying they was moving outside the country. So it kind of looked weird, but like y'all saying, I don't see it in her character. I'd have to wait for more details to come out. But yeah, I see her having too much to risk all of that just to do this, which not gonna negate anything. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly speaking, they have so much going on. I'm gonna just be 100 with y'all. They have so much going on with them. It's a lot of infighting. The sisters be beefing. The family be all over the place. Like they, it's like they are the true definition of you can
I
take
remember Blueface knocked out her daddy.
yeah, well, yeah, he knocked out her father, but her father and Blueface don't get no points for knocking out her father. They crackheads. Her people, she come,
I
they,
figured
she,
that too. It looked like he
yeah,
was.
they come from. When I say they come from the bottom, they come from the bottom, like the bottom. That's why they scrap like they do. That's why they scrap like they do. She not just they're not just out here. They're from the bowels of Baltimore. Everybody getting how they live. They got brothers. They got another brother that's locked up for life. They got a couple brothers that's locked up on some. All of them got stuff going on. So that's what I'm saying. Like you just when you around, you get them families, and it's a million of them, and everybody into something. You be like, God damn! They're like when they was younger, they had that house where everybody was in there. It was always running in and out. They like that. So you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
You know what I mean. So it could be anything. Anybody could have been into anything that could lead to anything. You know what I mean? For real, Krishan was kind of like their way out. You know what I mean? Krishan was kind of like their way out. Krishan, that's how Krishan only got to remember she was on the Ultimate Warrior. She always been an athlete. She was on the Ultimate Warrior thing and she won. Before she went on to that Blueface show. And when she got on that Blueface show, she got into a couple fights and she was just about it. She could just fight. You know what I'm saying? But her sister that's on Baddies now, Krishan can't do nothing with her. They got a couple other sisters who Krishan wouldn't dare jump out there with. That's just how they are. The whole family is just real rowdy. You know what I mean? So,
She like that too.
hmm?
Ain't that how she lost her tooth in that
Yeah,
fight with
yeah,
Blueface
fighting.
on that
Yeah.
show?
Yeah. That's exactly how she lost her damn tooth on camera.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
man. Hey, no, go ahead.
So you just never know. You know what I mean? So like I said, I know around town, that's not something that you hear more about. That I hear more about that like on YouTube, people outside, you know what I mean, who speculate about those types of things than what you really hear, you know what I mean, around town. It's not really a topic. They really don't talk about it, or people just be like, man, they be like, man, ain't nobody listening to that shit. That's, that's just kind of how they talk about it.
Right. So, man, hey, we gonna hope the best. We gonna wish the best for her. You hear me? Hey, if you ain't talking mute for me, my audio be messing up. We gonna talk about the NBA trades. We told y'all about LeBron James going to Philly, but I mean, with that trade, Giannis Antetokounmpo went to Miami. Jaylen Brown went to Philly. Paul George went to Boston, and that was in a swap. LaMelo Ball and Josh Green both went to Minnesota. Ja Morant went to Portland. Jeremy Grant went to Memphis. That was a trade too. Ja for Jeremy. Miles Bridges went to Phoenix. Nicholas Claxton went to Chicago. John Collins and Gary Harris both went to Detroit. And Aaron Wiggins went to Atlanta, dog. Hey, the one that I'm most happy for is Giannis, man, going to Miami, man. I wish LeBron would have went and met him. Now y'all talk about Steph, man. That would have been a show. You hear me? Boo boy, what you think?
I mean, I can only say I'm happy about the Giannis getting into a bigger market, being able to go chase another ring. Him and Bam together gonna be a hell of a duo. LeBron would have just had more power to it, but I kind of like how the trades went. I think some teams could do better, could have made better trades, but Jaylen Brown and all of them in Philly, that's gonna be a good power couple. Miami, that's gonna be a good power couple. San Antonio gonna come back a little harder. The Knicks still gonna be on point. I think this year's gonna be a nice little show for the fans. But Giannis most definitely. That was like my favorite out of all that.
Okay. JC, what you think?
So been kind of paying attention to what they saying about Philly since LeBron got traded though. But yeah, I think this year gonna be exciting for the fans, like Boot Boy was saying. And I was gonna ask y'all, with all the trades that didn't happen, who y'all think the best team that's gonna end up going to the finals next year? Like, do y'all think Philly actually got a chance, or do y'all think New York will still win it, or like what
Now
y'all?
Philly got a chance for sure. They got some talent over there, but man, I'm looking at Miami right now. Miami looking like my go-to. And I'm still a LeBron fan. I'm watching Philly, but for who I think gonna win the chip, I mean, Wemby showed me some weakness. Yeah, Wemby showed me weakness, so I don't know. Yeah. Lovely, you be watching the NBA?
My bad. Hell no. I'm in enemy territory. I have no idea what y'all talking about. I do not watch sports at all.
Okay,
The
bet.
only
Well,
sport
look.
I watch is boxing. That I might get into a little bit of boxing, but that's about it.
Oh, we had talked about Anthony Joshua last night and whether AB Adrian Broner gonna make a comeback.
I don't know what Adrian Broner is going to do. He's crazy. He is a crazy son of a gun. He got a lot going on too. Um, I would like to see him make a comeback, but I just don't know. I used to like Adrian Broner. He just did too much. But yeah, this stuff that y'all talking about, I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm
Hey,
lost.
well, we got
Sorry.
one more topic though. The last topic of the night, we're gonna say who had the biggest impact in music history. JC, I know this is your area of topic, so I'm gonna bring it to you first. What you think?
It all depends on how you define, because they got impact and then they got influence, you know. And I know most people will probably say Michael Jackson, because a bunch of people, you know, after him tried to mimic him or whatever. But as far as impact, I'm gonna have to go with Rakim. You know, Rakim changed the whole landscape of rap to where we wasn't flowing in that same, you know, he added the internal rhymes and everything. You know, before it was more of that Sugar Hill Gang, hip it to the hip, or the message, you know what I'm saying? And some the reason that we rap the way we rap today is
Mhm.
because of Rakim, and that's with everybody. And even when you go with like the auto tune singing rap, like Drake and all of that, like all of that kind of can stem back from to Rakim. You know, if it wasn't for him changing the cadence and everything, we would probably still be rapping the same, you know. So as far as impact, I would probably have to say the God Rakim.
All right, Boot Boy, what you thinking about it?
I think when it came down to it, Rakim did what he did, but at the same time, Rakim did what he did, son. But I think when it came to impact, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that to YB. YB came after all them, all these greats that came before him, and still had a major impact on house arrest, on jail time, on like whatever he was facing, addictions. No tour, no. He still got a major impact on these kids, on society. As grown men, I'm sure there's a couple of songs of YB you would jam. You know what I'm saying? And we all in our 30s. So I feel like for a person that was so young, yeah, he took the game by storm, and he still got a long way to go. So yeah, I
Who is
think it's
YB?
YB.
I'm sorry. Who is YB?
Young boy.
Oh Lord. Okay. All right, I'm going back on mute.
Hey, you was done, Boot.
Yeah, I was done. I was just arguing the little point, but yeah, I think YB got the biggest influence. I mean, impact, not influence. That's a different
All right,
conversation.
who you think, Lovely?
Listen, y'all. I'm a music. I think I'm a music connoisseur. I love, 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 love music. But when it comes to, it's so hard. Why you had to, it's hard for me. When you're talking about impact, because I like that Rakim answer. I did like that, right? And then even when he said young boy, right? Even though I don't necessarily agree. You can't deny the impact. You just can't. I have, you know what I mean. I have a 13-year-old. I have my kids are in that age group, and they love that dumb shit. They do. You know what I mean? Can't deny the impact. So, but if it's yeah, if it's for me, it's I have a it can only be one person.
Yeah,
Nah,
we're not
whatever
doing the
you.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, but whatever you decide, though. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Right, at least you got to give us one, just
All right,
one.
one. Okay,
Well, give
so
us one
all right,
specific. Yeah.
if I'm going for one, oh my goodness, this is so hard, but it's actually not that hard. I'm only feeling the way because I'm on here with a bunch of guys. But I'm going with Beyonce. I'm in the Beehive. I love Beyonce, and I was in I was in a relationship, right, y'all. I was with my ex for 14 years, right? And Beyonce is what, like, and I was devastated. Like, it took me to a whole nother, like, place mentally and all of this other stuff, right? Once once I broke that off, right? I didn't want to, but I had to. And Beyonce is what, like, got me through it. Like, that woman empowerment shit is so real. It does something to you mentally. It makes you, like, to get up and you hear, like, words that'll be like, get up, wipe your face, get dressed, go to work. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of message can make you, like, move mountains. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have to go with Beyonce. That's the one for me.
I bet that's a good choice, man. Me personally, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, man, I'm gonna have to say, hold up, I'm gonna come.
LA getting himself
Yo,
together. While LA getting himself together, I'm gonna have to give an honorable mention too, because with the state of the game now, with how independence being pushed, and you're talking about artists taking their career into their own hands and whatnot, I'm gonna have to give Prince a shout out too, because Prince was one of the first ones to understand owning your masters and actually
I
teaching people
agree.
the importance of it, you know. So
I
Prince
I
is
agree.
up
mean,
there as
but
well.
these people came in a different timeline. I understand they are the one of the
Still,
first ones
still,
to
but
understand.
they impact though, because the impact
But
it
but
shifts the whole industry when you talk about
yeah,
impact. You know what I'm
but
saying?
they don't have as big of an influence as a Master P with it. Like Prince did what he did, but there's so many other moguls that gave game and understanding to how to push this too.
Right.
Look
But
at
all that
YMCMB.
stems back from to Prince. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like
But
Yeah,
Prince
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 was the
did
did
one.
that
that.
at a minor label. I mean, at a minor compared to how the folks are doing it today. Look at
But that's
YB,
what I'm
for
saying.
example. YB
If it
got his
wasn't for
own
Prince,
label.
yeah, if it wasn't for Prince, it wouldn't have got to that point though. Just like the same argument with
I
Rakim.
disagree.
If
I
Rakim didn't change
disagree.
the trajectory of how we rhyming, you wouldn't get a YB.
I disagree. I disagree because at the end of the day, a Rakim was
Hey,
coming either
well,
way.
look, nah, look. I'm gonna have to go my opinion right on who changed the trajectory. Who I'm gonna say the most innovative person in music. I
Okay.
feel the Rakim argument, and I understand that would have needed to happen for this person to come. But this is one of the most versatile people to ever exist in music history, Lil Wayne. And it ain't just come from Louisiana, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. You look at the style of hip hop and even the other genres of music today. Everyone in the game follow Lil Wayne pattern. So shout out Jordan. That's who I was gonna say, but I had to go do something real quick. Lil Wayne. Everybody walk, talk, dress, everything like Lil Wayne. Everybody try to be Wayne. The first thing a nigga do is get some dreads, and now he want to be a rapper. Then he want to grill. Now he want face tats. You hear me?
Yeah, but
Mhm.
see,
I agree with that.
well, I do agree with that. I do agree with that because I remember the Lil Wayne era. But that I think that a lot of, well, you're right, because a lot of it did stem from the Rakim though. You gotta give him that. You gotta give
Yep.
him that because
Like
Lil Wayne
if it
came with
wasn't for
lyrics,
Rakim, you
with
wouldn't
the
get
lyrics.
the
You know what I
Waynes,
mean?
you wouldn't get the Young Boy, you wouldn't get the
Yeah, the
Drakes,
lyrics.
you
See,
wouldn't get
when
none
it
of that
comes
without
to the lyrics, yeah,
Rakim ain't the only person born with that innovative instinct. It just
But
wasn't.
he
You
the one.
know,
He the
it
nah.
happened
He
down
the
the
one that
line.
innovated though. You got to credit it to him. He actually invented it. Nobody was doing it. You got to put yourself in that time. He was the only one when it came out. You know what I'm saying? So he invented a whole new style to where even 40 years later we compounding on it. You know what I'm saying?
I understand I understand the argument that you're making. Like his impact influenced today's industry. I think that's
Right.
I think that's kind of what you're trying to say. You know what I mean? In so many words.
Influence have nothing to do with impact, though. Just because Michael James Brown influenced Michael Jackson, his impact was bigger to the world than James Brown. So the influence have nothing to do with what a person craft and do what they own. They
Nah,
just took what
hey,
they got
nah,
from
man. Shout out my daddy. Don't underestimate that funky. Don't underestimate that Papa's got a brand new bag. Man, don't underestimate that
And you
boy
got to
James
understand,
Brown, dude.
in James Brown times, son, he was with the amount of money he was making, he was the Michael Jackson of his time.
Right,
If
right,
if it
right.
wasn't
That's what
for
I'm
James
saying.
Brown,
Don't
Michael
underestimate
Jackson
but
that boy.
probably wouldn't have
somebody
been
came with a formula, picked up a formula from him and showed him how to do it 2, 3 times better. He
right. But
ain't do
without that
nothing no different.
formula,
That man influenced him, but
you
at the
can't
same
innovate. You can't
he
take somebody that made
somebody
the innovation better.
somebody
You know what I'm saying?
somebody was gonna come and do that anyway. He just was the one that wore the face. It was gonna
Right. But
be a
the fact that
James
nobody
Brown,
did,
even if it
you got to
wasn't
credit
James
them
Brown.
for it. But the fact that nobody did, you got to credit the person that
Hey,
actually brought it to the
hey,
world.
hey,
I don't.
hey. We gonna have to agree to disagree for right now. We definitely gonna come back to this topic on another night, man. I see y'all love this topic. So man, we're gonna start wrapping it up though. You know, it's been a good show. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to Controversial Conversations, episode 9. You hear me? Hey, catch us tomorrow at the same time.
What time does it start?
6:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. You hear me?
Got it, got it, got it.
Bet. Hey, until next time, man, y'all have a good night. ASI panel coming up in 5 minutes.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Tap in, lovely. I bet y'all have a good night.
Good night. It was nice meeting them.
You too, love, be easy.
You too.